Fair use. Fair use. Fair use.
So I'm sure many of you have seen this video before. The first American were black Aborigines. That was a documentary done by the BBC. So this won't come as a surprise to many of you. I just want to put this in here because in my mind I'm trying to put this all together to where it's presentable. It makes sense what I want to put together here. So like I said, so just bear with me on this. I know that you've seen this. This is for in hopes of people that have never seen it, that this will make sense. I'll put this video in the description box too, as I noticed that when you search for this video, they're making it harder and harder to find. So, which I mean, I don't understand why, because it's a popular video, you know. So.
Archaeologists there have recently unearthed human remains. Prehistoric skulls were found buried in layers of soil 9,000 to 12,000 years old. They are the oldest skulls in the Americas. And this is the oldest of them all. The skull of a young woman nicknamed Luthia by scientists. Can she tell us who the first Americans were? Walter Neves is a physical anthropologist at Sao Paulo University in Brazil. He's been using a standard and reliable archaeological measure, the shape of the skull, to find out what race she belonged to.
91.
He fully expected Luthia to be a Mongoloid, an ancestor of the American Indians.
91.
But then he fed the measurements into the computer.
When we started running the computer and seeing the results, it was amazing because we realized that the statistics, the quantitative analysis we were doing was not showing just people to be Mongoloid. In fact, the analysis was showing these people as anything except Mongoloid.
So who was Luthia? And where did she come from? To find out, the skull was taken to a hospital in Rio de Janeiro to begin the process of reconstructing her face. The first stage was to make a three-dimensional CAT scan of Luthia's skull in order to build a replica. Was then given to Richard Neve of the University of Manchester in England, one of the world's leading forensic artists, to recreate her features.
To me, is a Negroid face that has all the features that you associate with a Negroid face. The proportions of the face, it doesn't say anything about it being a Mongoloid.
All right, so I want you to take a good long look at this image here, this painting. Because in this painting, this is a king and a queen in Portugal, Brazil. Okay? Now we're going to get into this painting. But remember that a king and a queen in Portugal, Brazil. Look at the way they are dressed. Now they want you to believe that the only way these people, meaning people with these phenotypes, would have made it to the Americas, or they were brought to America through the way of a slave trade, right? That's what they tell us. Because other than that, you were totally fine just sitting in Africa. But if you were sitting in Africa, would you be dressed like this? I mean, look at the cross he's wearing around his neck. Look at hers. Look at the crowns on their head, as if they were ruling in Europe, right? Look at his scepter. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this table. Look at this. I mean, does this hat, whatever, does this crown to you scream Africa? Does her crown scream Africa? Does his? And if you are African slaves brought over here from Africa, what are you doing dressed in such fine garments and having a painting painted of you just like this? I mean, look at the rest of them. Look at the dresses. I mean, you really, really want us to sit here and believe, oh, well, you see, they're a part of a fraternity. And in this fraternity, they dress like this. I mean, please show me the African tribe that plays the trumpet. Trumpets like this. I'm not talking about a ram's horn or all those other things. A brass trumpet. All right? Because I want you to think about this. This Nelson Aguilar, and no, I'm not talking about the football player either. This Nelson Aguilar seemed to have ventured through Brazil, through South America, and painted what he had seen, and has a book. This seems to be a book we might want to get our hands on so we can read and see what he wrote and painted, because he did a lot of work. From what this website is showing, he did a lot of work. I'm gonna have this do a lot of reading and a lot of translating here, because I do not know how to read or speak Portuguese.
Source: Nelson Aguilar, org. Show of Rediscovery, Black Body and Soul. Sao Paulo Biennial Foundation, 2000, page 239. Comment: King, Queen and other members of the hierarchies of a Brotherhood of the Rosary, all solemnly dressed, collect collection for the maintenance of the church. On the left, musicians perform some piece for the occasion. Located in the extreme south of Brazil, Porto Alegre was a very poor city in those years. Hence, perhaps, the playful aspects of the image. Like the dogs around the table.
So, again, like I said, they want you to believe this is all done for the, what was it called there? The Brotherhood of the Rosary. You're in Brazil. You're in South America. Where are you coming up with all this fine garments? I mean, any other time they show you running around half naked, you know, just in a low state. How in your right mind do you expect me to believe this was all just for show? This is all just for a brotherhood, a secret fraternity. No different than the Freemasons. Oh, and they leave a link here, man. It gets crazy. It gets monotonous after a while, because I mean, I want to do it, but I don't, because it's gonna take forever. Because you got to translate everything on this page. They don't give you the option to where the page will translate itself, so you can read it from there. I'll show you though. This is another one here. Where is this? This is another one here. I thought this was crazy. All right. I mean, first of all, they're saying this is a mulatto, but I cannot see the difference in the way this is drawn in skin color or of shades of the illustration, that either one of them is darker or lighter than the other. So I don't know. I don't get how. But again, this is supposed to be the priest. This is supposed to be a family coming for baptism. Look at the way they're dressed. Look at the dresses. Look at all the necklaces. Look at the earrings. Slaves, right? Slaves dressed like that. And remember, they told us that slavery in South America was worse. Than in Northern America. Here we go.
Blacks entering church for baptism, Rio de Janeiro, circa 1830. Source: Jean-Baptiste Debret, Voyage pittoresque at Historico Bressil, Paris, 1834-39, Volume 3, Plate 8, page 129. Comment. Captioned: Negresses allant à l'église pour être baptisées, black females going to church to be baptized. Shows two black mothers, elaborately dressed and bejeweled, carrying infant girls and approaching the entrance of a church. They are followed by an older woman, the mother of the two women, and preceded by an older man, the father of the two women. All are greeted at the entrance by the mulatto, priest or some other Catholic official. The engravings in this book were taken from drawings made by Debret during his residence in Brazil from 1816 to 1831.
So you heard her say that bejeweled. We're talking about overdressed. They got them on their ankles. I'm just saying, like, this doesn't. You can't listen to the story they gave us and say, "Oh yeah, that was right." And then look here. All right. There's another one. This is supposed to be a wedding ceremony. You're telling me you brought slaves over here and you dressed them in some of the finest clothes? You put all this jewelry on them? 2 chains. She got 3 on. Hair. Look at this. Your slaves are dressed like this? Are you kidding me? These guys look like they're ready to go to a French ball. Well, let's not forget the dude in the back here. Looks like some type of officer of the court. Let's see here. Jean-Baptiste Barrette. Oh, come on. Cooperate.
Jean-Baptiste Debret, Voyage pittoresque at Historico Bressil, Paris, 1834-39, Volume 3, Plate 15, page 149. Commentary. Captioned: Marriage de négresses d'une maison riche, marriage of blacks in a wealthy household, portrays an ornate wedding ceremony. With the elaborately dressed bride and groom and joined by bridegrooms and bridesmaids. A European priest joins the couple. The engravings in this book were taken from drawings made by Debret during his residence in Brazil from 1816 to 1831.
All right, and this is where we're gonna lead. It's gonna lead to the Brotherhoods, and so on and so forth. They're talking about thousands of Brotherhoods, and it's just a whole caste system. It's not caste system. It's a pyramid scheme. You enter into a low brotherhood, and you're promoted to a higher brotherhood. Gives you higher social status, and so on and so forth.
Nelson Aguilar, org. Show of Rediscovery, Black Body and Soul. Sao Paulo Biennial Foundation, 2000, page 239. Comment. All the brotherhoods constituted in the Portuguese Empire needed to have their commitments. These were sent to the Table of Conscience and Orders, in Lisbon, and after 1808, in Rio de Janeiro, for its approval. Sometimes they suffered reforms and censures. Highlight the beauty of its lyrics and images.
So it tells us where you can find a list of all of the orders, the brotherhoods. I can't help it. Every time I think about that word, the brotherhood, you remember LeBron James, he's talking about the NBA is a brotherhood. This is something bigger than all of us. Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds awfully suspicious to me. Sounds very suspicious to me. Look at that crown. The crown, the king and the queen hat on back there. And they said, oh, this is all for show. Seems like it's all to hide who's in charge. And I don't want to use that. That's just about the Quran. Let's see. Here's another one. This is another one that had the image here. This might be the same. There it is. Look at that. You can find these in color. But when I seen that, I'm like, come on. Look at him wearing the wig. Unless your hair is really that color, that'd be awful at that age. One Caucasoid there amongst all of them. And look at that. He looked like he ready to do his job. Oh, he looks pissed too. Over here. Now they say this is for a parade, right? A parade. Let's see. I gotta get it translated. Like I said, I do not know how to speak Portuguese. Let's see.
Johann Moritz Rugendas, Picturesque Journey Through Brazil, Editora Itatiaia Limitada, University of São Paulo Publishing House, 1989. Comment. Caption, Fête de Ste. Rosalie. Patroni de Negres, Festival of Our Lady of the Rosary. Patron, Saint, of the Blacks, large group shows in procession, dancing, costumed, musical instruments.
Where was it? Let's get I think it was here. No, I don't think this is right. Not the one. See, but this is what I was showing you too. It's not giving me an option to translate into English like it normally would. So you gotta literally translate this whole page by using the translation button. So it become really, really long, really time consuming. Let's see. Let me go back. I want to find a specific page I was on though. All right. So this is another one here. And I'm going to put this in the description box just in case there are those that want to translate the whole page. Let's see. Now it's down here in orders. That's where they just go into long details. Yeah, and that was another thing too. As I was going through this, and it starts talking about responsibilities of that. Where was it? There was one part where it starts talking about the responsibility of the inheritance. Where was that? Hold on, let me pause for a moment. Here it is.
They also stripped of the prestige of trust, serving as an inheritance payment institution. In addition to having financial responsibilities and possessing highly surprising standards of efficiency and honesty. They also stripped of the prestige of trust, serving as an inheritance payment institution. In addition to having financial responsibilities and possessing highly surprising standards of efficiency and honesty.
I'll play that one more time. Pay attention. That is important.
They also stripped of the prestige of trust, serving as an inheritance payment institution. In addition to having financial responsibilities and possessing highly surprising standards of efficiency and honesty.
Honesty, that's funny. Where was this? There was a portion down here where it's... Oh, it was a lady, the elephant woman, the elephant thing, because that's another place you would catch them in a lie. Where was it? Come on, I know it's in here somewhere. No. Yep, down here. That's where it was. I got down here. So this. Hold on, you're gonna like this. Let's see.
In other regions of the country, such as the Northeast, religion and parties were a fundamental issue in the lives of these black people, especially when they became part of the Brotherhoods. The daily routine was interrupted many times throughout the year by the organization or participation in various parties, which mark the periodic break of this routine. The Maracatu also originated from the Brotherhoods, especially the Elephant Nation created in 1800 by the slave Manuel Santiago in Recife dates from the oldest one that exists until today. For those who organized them, the parties represent exactly moments of leisure, of intense and pleasurable work, in their preparation and realization. 15. In the South, especially in Rio Grande do Sul, the Brotherhoods are present in the urbanization processes, since the cities were formed around the chapels, because with the presence of the Brotherhoods, there was the presence of the parish, facilitating the population concentration and expansion. 17. The presence of the Brotherhoods in this region was a great achievement, as if, on the one hand, the ecclesiastical state was precarious, due to the inexpressive presence of parish priests in Rio Grande do Sul, especially in Porto Alegre, due to the distances. Especially the headquarters of the bishopric, which until the mid-19th century was in Rio de Janeiro. On the other hand, the Brotherhoods were present, from an early age, in the life of the population to meet their religious needs. It was in the course of the 19th century, with the founding of the local bishopric, added to the population increase, modernization and urbanization, that the people of Porto Alegre would have new possibilities of ratifying their religious feeling.
So, I went to look this up here. Like you said, they said this comes out of one of their brotherhoods, their secret societies, right? Look this up here. Go down here. And where was it? The ritual, yeah, that's where it is. Now they said, this comes out of a brotherhood, but remember, these people are supposed to be Africans, brought from Africa to South America to Mexico, and they were taught by these religious orders from Europe, Catholicism, Christianity, to put yourself together, these secret societies, these groups, to benefit those within the groups to rise to higher rankings, and on the outside, do all these things, work at hospitals and all this other stuff, to make yourself seem like you're doing good for mankind. But listen to this. This is where I was like, oh.
Rural Maracatu, rooted in the Pernambuco interior, is also known as Maracatu de Bac Solto, Maracatu de Orquestra, and Maracatu de Trombone. Although it shares its name with the Maracatu Nation found in that state's cities, it is substantially different in terms of narrative, practice, and instrumentation. It evolved in the early 20th century as a fusion of pre-existing forms of carnival revelry. It is considered to be Afro-Indigenous in origin. Its members, typically sugarcane workers, are involved in the native-influenced Katimbo religion. Rural Maracatu has a high participation rate with dozens of groups in operation.
So, first of all, the thing that stood out was that they're telling you that this form of carnival living, not carnivore, but carnival living and the celebrations were going on before the founding of these cities, right? So this lifestyle that you see that they want to say, oh, it's from Africa, they're saying, no, it was here before all that. It was here before you brought these people, so-called people from Africa here, and this is their culture. And then they tell you too, it's also rooted in Afro-Indigenous, right? The Afro-Indigenous in origins, right? But you can't be indigenous and have an Afro to South America, right? Because that's what they tell you, that you got to come from somewhere else, right? If you have an Afro, you can't be indigenous to the Americas. Well, here they're contradicting themselves, right? And then the Cataban people here, I think it's interesting. There's no page for them. Why is that? You got a page for almost everything else, but not for them. Let's see. Where was it? This is what it was. This right here, this is what sent me down that rabbit hole back there. I was looking up this painting because I remember when Lexwell did these videos on what's his name, the king of the Aztecs, Montezuma, right? When he was doing it, when he did a video on Montezuma, and he was doing the paintings, I believe this was one of the two he used. And Lex, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't mean to speak out of turn, but I'm almost sure this was one of the two he did. There was the one where it was the painting of him in the center of the photo or the painting, and then I believe this one, because I thought what I thought was strange, which led me down that was when you look this up now, if it was one of the second paintings, they're no longer using this as Montezuma, but they are contributing it to indigenous people of South America, right? They said, let's see if I can find it. They have it in a museum in South America. So this one I liked. Look at this. This is Vietnamese, right? Vietnamese. You're gonna like this. So in Vietnam, right.
Archaeologists have discovered many artifacts showing that Africans lived in pre-Columbian America at sites like Tiwanaku and Valdivia.
So in Vietnam, you're gonna get the truth, right, about who was here. I mean, they're still calling you African, but I mean, you're gonna get the closest thing to the truth while in this day and age.
Inscriptions and archaeologists have even found evidence that the Aksumites, Meroites, and Pountites may have reached South America before Columbo. There is some evidence that the Sumerians were in South America, which they called Kuga Ki, where they mined tin and other minerals.
Sumerians? Look at this. Come on. I mean, think about it. What's the importance of the tribes they just listed there? And to the Vietnamese, what's the importance of these tribes? We're gonna see if we can find them. Right? Oh, I think I looked into this mountain before. I think because it was a mountain that's supposed to shine because of the silver deposits. Yeah, because I was looking for a shiny mountain. Let's see. Come on, translate. There we go.
East Africans certainly knew Ecuador and Peru through the Sumerians. During the Arwe and Aksumite empires, Semitic or Puntite-speaking Ethiopians came to South America, Potosi. The first image in Europe, Pedro Cieza de Leon, 1553. Potosi is a famous mining town in Bolivia. Evidence of ancient Ethiopians in the Andes.
Yeah, look at this. There we go.
Between 13,000 BC and 600 AD, Africans in East Africa began to settle in South America. Many African skeletons have been found in Ecuador, partly in Chile in Valdivia and at Panuncho in Peru. These countries are also part of Kuga Key, as the Sumerians call it. In Ecuador found an important archaeological evidence of the presence of African blacks in South America.
Oh, come on. Stop.
One of the most important finds is the stunning stone head of a man with a circular piercing in his right ear. This head is similar to Akhenaten sculpture. Dr. von Wuthenau identified this figure as representing the African element in prehistoric Ecuador.
Again, this is supposed to be Vietnamese, right?
Race Ethiopian according to Alexander von Wuthenau. According to Lanning, it is possible that there was a movement of Africans from Ecuador to the Piura Valley, north of Chicama and Viru. He suggested that there was a connection between this culture and the ruins in Valdivia where humans lived from 1800 BC to 100 AD. Dr. Dixon points out that there were Africans living in Valdivia.
Yeah, come on. I think we're about done. Africans, but they show. Come on. They show these people.
Statues of people in Valdivia, Correra and Cachi may be ancient Ecuadorian Africans. In Peru, large double-bottom boats are shown in ceramic pots, which closely resemble those used in Proto-Sahara and Pound. On the water jugs and a whole bunch of other things were painted in the lower part with boats and lines of people. An earthly manifestation of the sun god Ra is depicted above, like the sun god of Meroe in Egypt, surrounded by birdmen holding ropes and pushing boats across the water. The interesting thing about these images is that they are almost exact replicas of the scenes shown in the Egyptian pyramids.
Birdman, isn't it like that thing from, what was that movie they just did? They just did the second one there. Angelina Jolie was in it. It was on that Disney. Supposed to be like, what was the story of Sleeping Beauty? Can't think of the name of the movie. Got like those Birdman looking things, Baphomet looking creatures. She's one of them. No surprise there, right? And she says that whatever spirits in her, she can see people's sexuality and things of that nature. Let's see.
Image of a Mochicha straw boat. There are other similarities between Ethiopia and Peru. Ethiopians use sticks to fight and their doctors have the authority to perform drills, cranial surgery without killing the patient. This trick was unknown to the Europeans until Colombo discovered the Americas, but the Peruvians did. Both groups also used prosthetic heads for mummies. The Peruvians and the Ethiopians also used horizontal looms placed on the ground with a vertical frame with two planks. Rowe, 1966. Von Hagian notes, a type of loom was used in Egypt. A horizontal loom appeared in Egypt, and it is represented in the tomb of Khnumhotep, in Beni Hassan, circa 1900 BC, It resembles similar to the Peruvian and Andean looms of the coast.
All right, so I think we're going to stop there. I'll leave this in the description box as well, because I think it's interesting, right? Vietnam, they tell you, hey, Africans are over here, you know, you're over here, you're African. No, you're from Africa. That's the only thing you couldn't have been over here. Let's see, what do we get from this? Mm-hmm.